Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is a presentation of the purchase order processing for new units and used units in Dynamics 365 using the add-ons from Anata IDMS solution. My name is Thiago Silverio. I'm the Director of Technology of Dynamics Resources, and I'm gonna be walking you guys through the process. Going really quick over the agenda, we're going to be talking a little bit about the purchase order creation, how to do that for new units, how to do that for used units. We're going to submit that to workflow. We're going to do the approval via AX and the mobile app, and we will be receiving those units in the system, invoicing the purchase order, and also we're going to be seeing how to finish the configuration of a particular unit. Let's swap now for AX. Okay, so now we are in Dynamics 365 for finance and operations, our future version of AX. So to create a purchase order, we have basically two options. We can go through the accounts payable, or we can go through the procurement source. So we have the accounts pay over here, and we have the procurement and sourcing over here. So going through the accounts payable, we have the option to see all the purchase orders and some different status as well of the purchase order. Go to all purchase orders, and we can see basically the list of everything that we have at this point in the inventory. Okay, so we're going to be creating a new purchase order. I'm going to use our Tour Motor Coach as our vendor. And one of the most important information here is the warehouse, because that's where we are going to be storing that particular unit, and from where we're going to be selling that unit in the future, unless we do some transfer procedures for this. Okay. So we have a couple of ways to create the lines for a purchase order. So we have now a purchase order created. We can change some information in the header as tax information, location. We have taxes, inventory information, delivery information, discount, and of course the financial dimensions. In the lines, we're going to be basically creating the products, or adding the lines from the products that are going to be responsible to purchase the units that you guys are selling. So if if we're buying new units, we have basically two major ways to create the order. So the first form is using the configurator. The unit configurator, basically, it's a pretty nice tool, really detailed tool that simulates the customization that you have in the manufacturing website. I know that's a complex scenario for you guys, and it's probably not a desirable scenario, but we had an experience in the past where we integrated Anata with a third-party company that basically had the responsibility to collect the information from all the different brands, and that's their business. Basically, they go for every single one of the brands, and they extract the information from all all sort of devices. So they would be able to go to Tor, to go to Nexus, and collect the details of all the units that they sell, all the optionals that can be installed on that particular unit, colors, specifications, configurations, everything that you might need for that particular unit. And so you can simulate that process in the website. And of course, the pricing information, that is really important for you guys, because I understand that you probably have predefined trade agreements with those vendors. So you know that over the MSRP that they sell, you guys have your 15%, 20%, depending on which region that you are buying that particular unit. So what is a nice part of this is that basically if you integrate everything with Dynamics and Anata, you don't need to ask for quotations anymore. You basically do everything from here, and you can just shoot your purchase order in case you are buying a new a new purchase order, and it's just more a validation of the numbers than anything else. It's a really nice process. Okay, so I'm gonna go really fast on this. I know that as I mentioned, it's not the desired scenario for you guys. So let's just get a Tor motor, class A diesel, and a Palazzo. So we have basically two options of Palazzo over here, one for new and one for used units. We're going to be using the new. We're going to go next. So we have two configurations basically for 33.2 is basically the floor plan that I configure for this unit. We're going to select the 33 or 2, select an exterior color. We're going to select the interior. So we have the Nightfall, looks nice name. Go forward. And then we have the second part here that is really nice because basically you can set up all the accessories that the customer might you might need to install. For the purchase process, usually you don't use that a lot, but for the sales process, you can use that a lot because you can basically start adding services, and I told a little bit about that. So you can install UTVs and other items. And as you select something here, it's going to be automatically copied to the lines of that purchase or sales order. At this point, we have a search here. It's a new device. It's a new unit. So why would we use the search? One of the processes is that you can go to the device management and create a unit that you want before including that in a purchase order. So let's say that you have two different departments. One is responsible for setting up the units. That person can go to the device management, configure the unit with all the details that are important for you. And the other person that's going to be from maybe the purchase agent is just going to get that number and search for it in the inventory. And then basically he's going to have the unit already there in a kind of a draft status. And as you bring it here, he will be able to search for it. And as it's going to show the list of units that you have available, and you will be able to select here and purchase that particular unit. But that's an easier process for new units than that. And that would be the first way to create. And this is good for one unit and when you have an integrated scenario. I'm going to cancel this process and I'm going to show a second one. The second process is more useful when you're trying to buy more than one unit of the same type. How would we do that? Let's go to Anata inside the purchase order. And we have the Anata 365 tab, and we have the create device purchase. The input here is a little bit different because you need to know which item it is that you're going to be using to produce that particular unit, to buy that particular unit. So since we're buying a new unit, I'm just going to go here and search for my Palazzo. That's how I create the name, Palazzo New. And I'm going to say here that I want of this combination of 33.2 Seaside Augusta. I'm going to buy 10 units of, let's make 2, to make it simple, 2. And I'm going to add another line here, also from Palazzo. And that I want to buy from the StreamSum, Seaside StreamSum. I'm going to buy also more 2 units. Okay. All right. So at this point, you can see over here that we don't have a device number, right? So basically, we have an item. I'm going to save it, and the next step is basically actually creating the devices. So this step that I'm going to execute here on functions, create purchase line, is going to create a purchase line is in the purchase order, and also is going to create the device for you. And you can go there later and add the additional information. So it's a faster process. So if you don't need a lot of the details in the device, you can just use this one. It's going to be faster and simpler, and it's more simple to create your purchase orders. Let's click it here, give an OK, and everything goes smooth. We're going to have the lines in the purchase order. So it's successfully created. So let's close this one. And we're back to the purchase order, and we see now that it has 4 lines. Since it's a new unit and we already have a price for this, it already brought the price for that unit. And again, we can set up trade agreements in the system and saying that for depending on the vendor, depending on or maybe of the vendor group, and we can set up different price and different discounts for that particular unit that we're buying. Okay, the other information that we need to pay attention is that he creates a device number that's basically your unit number. And as I told you in the other videos, this number can be replaced for any number that makes sense for you. So for instance, we are able to go to your website and get the stock ID number that you have there and use that number as a reference over here. Okay, now we have the units here, and I'm gonna finish this process, and then we go back and create a device and show how to create it as the purchase order for a device that's a user device that you might need. Okay, after the order is created, next step is basically we have some options, and we have some options. For that, just a second. For that, we are gonna be creating we can go here in the device lines. For instance, you can come to the trade specifications, and so for instance, if it is a new unit, you can add the insurance, the warranty. So that's what the manufacturer provides for you. So you can just include the warranty, or if you guys decide to acquire a more expensive one, you could just select the options for this as well. During the delivery process, I also told a little bit more about these items on the sales part that is more important. We can also create here a work order for the inspection of the device of the unit as it is delivered by your manufacturing company. Okay, going back there. So we're going to basically proceed with the workflow step. So I'm going to submit this to the workflow. A request for approval. The approval here is configured to be automatically approved for my user, so we don't lose the time for this. We already showed that in another video how to do the approval by mobile app. So the concept that is there, it works the same here. So we can check the workflow history for now, see what's happening. So at this point, he just created a workflow, and I'm going to stop for a second the video until the workflow finishes running. Okay, the process finished, so we can see here the workflow steps. So this is also important for the SOX compliance. So basically, you can control every single change in a purchase order. And so let's go back to our order. After we approve an order in a workflow, our order is going to be changing status to approved, and we will be able to post the confirmation. So I'm going to confirm this order. And the next step would be to receive that unit in some of our facilities. Okay, I'm going to go to the Receive tab, Product Received, and we will be able to see the units that we have available. It's marked to post everything that we have in the order right now, so we could potentially remove some of the units or just do like a partial receiving depending on the scenario that you have. Maybe you're going to receive one unit every 2 weeks. We can set up that with a delivery scheduling as well. And as we are here, let's just add the information that is required. Let's just add the product received information, the date, and let's post all the units. Let's take a look about the batch information. Let's see if you have the serial numbers. If everything's fine. So let's post it. Okay, next step is just post the invoice and create the billing. Since it's a purchasing process, also good to remember that your vendor here is going to be maybe your customer, in case you're just buying it, or it can be also the manufacturer itself. If you're doing a trading process, that process is going to be managed directly in the sales order. So you will need to create the user device as I'm going to show right now, but you won't need to create a purchase order for the processes. You're going to basically receive that unit in inventory. It's a little bit okay. So let's post the invoice. And I think that we can check the inventory status of this item before we do move forward. So let's just go over here, find. Let's see the dimensions of this unit. Let's add the device number. Okay. And we will have the device number over here. So let's open the device, get it created. We have the device in stock. Since we already received that unit, it's already marked as in stock. So if you go to the device itself, to the main record of the device, that's going to be your unit, we can see here that it starts updating the information about the purchase order. Okay. And as we post the invoice, we are also going to add that information over here. So let's go back there and post our invoice. So first part is that in another process, we have a video explaining how to work with the invoice matching. So you can check that information over there. And so basically, I update the matching status to make sure that it validated the order. I'm gonna add the invoice date, and I'm gonna put my vendor invoice number here. That information is done, so we can post this invoice. Okay, so the invoice is posted. If you open the device again, let's do this last checkup. We can go to the device number. It's going to be your unit number, and we go back to the purchase order tab, and we're going to be our vendor invoice over here. Okay, and that basically concludes the process to purchase a new unit. So as I've showed you guys, we have the option to use the configurator to create the unit, or we have the option to use the create lines option from an app. Okay. Now, to follow up our process, I'm going to show you guys how to create a new device, a used device. So that's going to be a used unit for you guys, and I'm going to show how to create a purchase order to acquire that used unit. Okay, so let's go to the device management and let's check the list of devices. So talking a little bit about the device, I know the name is a little bit particular. We are going to be replacing the name for the units. But what is the important part of this? We have here basically a centralized location for all of the information, historical data of that particular unit. So you can basically control the full life cycle of that. So I'm going to create a specific video just to talk about the device. Let's show how to create a new the unit that we're going to be purchasing. So first of all, let's find a unit. Let's go to your website. Let's filter a unit, Class A diesel. And because you guys are at this point already know that I like the Toro Motor Coach. Looks like this is the most expensive ones, or not that expensive actually, based on the other units. And we're gonna look for one here. Let's say that we want to record. We need some nice pictures here. Nah, so let's just get this one. 33.3. Okay, so let's go back to our system and create a new. We're going to fill the device name. We can put the registration, the plate number, the registration number. Let's put 2020. We can put a device, the current usage. So that means that's a way to track and to plan the maintenance orders we are going to see in the future. So at this point, I'm going to say that this guy has 25,000 miles. The condition of this device is basically, we're going to see how good he is. So let's say that this is an excellent condition. We're going to brand this as a user device and start filling the information about the manufacturer. So this is a Tor. It's a class A diesel. Other number is a Palazzo. Code number is basically the combination, so we just need to select that. And the configuration, oh well, we have a, we're going to select the 33. That's basically the full plant that we're going to select. I know that's different, but just to save time, let's just use that one. Exterior and interior color. Nightfall is also looks a good name for a color. Device group, that's just for categorization of the item. It doesn't really affect anything. And as we select those two units here, two fields over here, you see that this information also got fulfilled automatically. So it selects the item that's going to be used for the purchase of used units for this guy over here. Okay, let's click OK. Okay, so sorry about that. Continue over here. So basically, this is going over really fast on this part since you lose some time here. So basically, you can fulfill the information that you really think that is relevant for you guys. So if you want to keep all the master data of this, of your units in the system, so your website feeds from that, you can add everything over here, from the field type, consumption, engine numbers, so basically everything. Okay. So as we did those steps, basically we already have an order created. So from here, the next step is basically we can do like an inspection. So we can, for instance, come to the service module, create an inspection for that, or a work order in case that we need to do some maintenance. We can also create a purchase order, and that's what I'm going to show right now. Okay, so let me create a purchase order. It's going to be a simple step. And we click OK. So it's that simple. Now, next step here is basically adding the price. So we need to edit this, that we are negotiating the purchase. And 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 we put the price, and then we follow the process that I just showed for you guys in the purchasing process. Okay, that's it for the purchasing process. I'm gonna make a separate video for the device configuration. Thank you very much.